I was trying to do cogent analysis and be accountable. What do I hate more than anything?
When quarterbacks trying to rally their teams at the end of games end it with an interception.
Game-losing picks when it's in a particularly non-desperation situation. So, like, if there's 20 seconds left
right.
and you're
Hail Mary
or you've got to go 60 yards in 20 seconds. So I didn't like the end of that game.
No.
You had a minute because I thought the Bills were a little too aggressive with the Josh Allen sneak. We don't have to get into it. You have maybe the strongest leg kicker in the history of the league.
Yes.
You're down 3, not down 4, so you didn't have to force it there. That lost them the game. I'm not saying they would have won it, but that lost them the game. And after the Bills fumble on the kick return, Trevor stumbling on the sneak on the 4th down run. I mean, it was going to be 14-3.
Yeah. Game of inches.
Right.
They say.
No,
and he was down.
No, he was down. It was a good call. So I'm not going to sit here and change what I value because it was my guy. It hurts more because there have only been 2 other losses like that in playoff history, where a quarterback has multiple go ahead from behind 4th quarter touchdown drives, and they don't win. The 13 seconds game and a famous Drew Brees game. Multiple go ahead touchdowns in the 4th quarter, and then you lose anyway. And so it was this close to being, he could have been, I think just he and Mahomes would have been the only guys ever with 3 go ahead touchdown drives in 1 quarter had he driven him down. He had an opportunity right there. Now, what I will say, despite you jackals, is I am very encouraged by the year and the direction I believe Trevor's going, because I didn't look at that as like he melted down. No, he made a terrible mistake, but I'm optimistic about where he's going, where the team's going. But they had an opportunity early to put a stranglehold on the game, and he slipped on the 4th and 2, and they had an opportunity late for him to go be a true legend, and he threw a pick on the first play. That's a tough spot. It just is what it is.
I believe Josh can, if he can check this quickly, I believe he has 7 interceptions in his 3 playoff games. I think that's
definitely right. He had 4 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in that.
It might be the most since during that time frame. Look,
good amount.
I don't put it all on Trevor. He threw 3 touchdowns. He played. He had some moments. He's got to get better. This team is really good. Like, I think, and obviously Liam Cohen is good. I don't mean that he's not a good quarterback. He's kind of the weak link, though. Like, he's solid, but he's not great.
But
now,
when they were great, they were great because he
had to stretch.
Yes.
He had to stretch, no doubt. But remember, earlier in the season, and you even said it, they were winning kind of despite him.
That's fair.
And so I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. But for them to get to the next level where they can really get to a Super Bowl, he's got to improve. Now, there's no reason to think he can't because of the jump he took under Liam Cohen. So if he takes that jump next season, then they should be a legit contender. But right now, if he were like an elite quarterback, they win that game going away, really. And so I just think he's got to improve.
So I don't put the loss on Trevor. I think Trevor should put the loss on him and then own it and improve based on what you're saying. I thought I was very encouraged by Trevor. Even the interception, the throw, the conviction in which he threw it, like it was a good throw. You could say it could have been better because it ended up getting picked. It was excellent defense. It was a great defensive play, but he didn't throw it with any hesitation. He knew exactly what he wanted to do with the ball, where he wanted to go, and he put it in a good spot. You look at this, it's like, his receiver is going to catch that ball if the defender doesn't knock it down, hopefully. And so you can live with that. If you are your Liam Cohen and you watch this back, do you want to have it back if you're Trevor? Absolutely. But some of the throws he made in this game, his ability to show resolve and be resilient and make some of these throws, I was really impressed. And so knowing what you have coming back next year, you had a receiver on the field that Parker Washington that no one knew about. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we got Parker Washington, you got Jacoby Myers, you got
Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter coming back.
All these weapons.
All right, first off, major props to the Jacksonville Jaguars fan base for being absolutely phenomenal. I genuinely had to put in significant effort and make direct appeals for Jag supporters to engage with some of this content, consistently expressing my desire to create dedicated Jaguars analysis. You all truly stepped up. I'm genuinely disappointed the journey has concluded. Real talk. I thoroughly enjoyed the latter part of this season, being able to speak so positively about the Jacksonville Jaguars, their accomplishments, and witnessing the palpable excitement, passion, and gratitude from the fans. It was an awesome experience, truly. It's a letdown that it had to end. However, attributing this entire loss to Trevor Lawrence is a perspective I simply cannot endorse. In virtually any defeat, you can identify areas for individual improvement. There are always moments where a player could have performed better. My analytical approach involves constantly deciding when to zoom in on microscopic details and when to zoom out for the broader context. I choose the lens through which I examine a situation carefully. For me, this specific season was never the ultimate benchmark for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The central question was always, can this franchise establish a trajectory pointing in the right direction? That was the core of my analysis regarding the Jags. The premise was simple. You have Liam Cohen as offensive coordinator, you have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, you continue to develop the roster, and success will follow. This team is poised to become great, to become elite. However, playoff games are not guaranteed victories. This is the postseason. The notion that an average great team or quarterback routinely strings together 5, 6, 7, or 10 championships is a fantasy. That's simply not the reality of the NFL. In this instance, you ran into Josh Allen. As I stated in my post-game analysis, you faced Josh Allen. Josh Allen is an elite talent. He is, statistically and demonstrably, the greatest playoff performer at the quarterback position in history. Let me highlight the data. First in total yards per game, first in touchdown to interception ratio, fourth in all-time playoff passer rating. That's the caliber of opponent you faced. You generally win that game against a lesser quarterback. You desire for Trevor Lawrence to reach that echelon of greatness. You want him to be that uniquely special. It's akin to asking for a Michael Jordan-level talent. Trevor Lawrence can be great. He can be elite. He can be special. But achieving that requires more than a single season with Liam Cohen. Now you enter year 2. I am an unequivocal advocate for the critical importance of the coach-quarterback partnership. It's arguably the most frequent point of emphasis on this channel. You might grow weary of hearing it. One of my initial Jaguars videos this season, technically during the offseason, focused on Liam Cohen's arrival in Jacksonville and its potential impact on Trevor and the team. I'm telling you unequivocally, the substantial leap happens in year 2. That's where the foundation is laid. Now you have continuity. Now you have the platform for growth. Incremental development occurs during the regular season, but the transformative work happens now. Now Liam and Trevor can engage in substantive dialogue. What concepts do we prefer? Which ones are less effective? Trevor can provide feedback. You know, I was really comfortable with X, Y, and Z. As Tom Brady has discussed, a significant portion of this evolution depends on the quarterback proactively communicating with the coaching staff. These are the plays I excel at. These are situations where I'm less confident. Consequently, a considerable onus now shifts to Trevor Lawrence, not Liam Cohen. It's incumbent upon Trevor to dedicate himself, to approach Liam and express, I am committed to improvement. I want to dissect film. I want to understand how to elevate my performance in critical moments. What is required for me to become the best possible version of myself? He must also possess the honesty and self-awareness to admit, I am uncomfortable in this specific scenario. I've discussed this concept extensively, not in this exact context, but the principle stands. A crucial component of player maturation is acknowledging both your competencies and your limitations. Early in a career, there's a tendency to nod along, to project confidence. Yeah, I understand. I've got it. Driven by a desire to belong and perhaps underlying insecurity. Admitting a weakness can feel like an exposure. However, as a player becomes established and secure, that honesty emerges. This is an area I need to develop. Or, this is a genuine weakness. We need to scheme around it. This is a constant dialogue with coaches. How do we elevate a strength? How do we mitigate a weakness? Sometimes you attempt to improve a deficiency, but ultimately recognize this isn't a core skill. We must ensure it's not a liability in games. That is the profound benefit of continuity with a skilled offensive coordinator. A vital element of this process is open, truthful communication. I am confident Liam Cohen will foster that environment. Therefore, I place the responsibility on Trevor. The potential is there. It's up to you. I firmly believe if Trevor Lawrence possesses the ambition to be special, he can achieve it with Liam Cohen. To be clear, I am not questioning his desire. I am emphasizing that the next step is his to take. We cannot know what drives him internally, but the capability is undeniably present. Commentators like Colin discuss horsepower. The raw talent is there. Could he have played marginally better in this specific game? Absolutely. The slip on a crucial play? Those unfortunate moments occur. I recall Josh Allen in a regular season game against the Tennessee Titans years ago. He fumbled a sneak attempt because he slipped, effectively costing them the game. It happens. Conversely, Trevor has also made some of the most remarkable recovery plays from a slip that I've ever witnessed. The interception was a challenging moment. It was a well-thrown ball. He read the defense and released it with trust. But a great defensive play led to a tip, and tipped balls often result in turnovers. This is also a high-leverage situation Trevor Lawrence hasn't experienced frequently, especially not in the playoffs with any degree of regularity or within a stable system. Next season, if he finds himself in a similar scenario, there will be a tangible reference point, something concrete to build upon. Even past experiences in college or the regular season differ from a playoff atmosphere on the road. He is also a different quarterback now. For the first time in Trevor's career with the Jaguars, there is a legitimate foundation upon which to build. The mere fact they achieved the level of success they did this season is commendable. They likely would have defeated any other opponent besides Josh Allen in that exact moment. Sometimes you simply must acknowledge the opponent's excellence. Yes, the Bills' defense made key stops, but when the game was on the line, Josh Allen was nearly flawless. 14 for 16, a 133 passer rating, 3 total touchdowns, accounting for 90% of the Bills' yards. On the game-winning drive, he was 5 for 5, responsible for 65 of the 66 yards gained. Sometimes you just encounter Josh Allen. That's the reality. It happens. But those are my reflections. I am genuinely eager to hear yours. What are your thoughts on the Jacksonville Jaguars falling to the Buffalo Bills? Do you place this loss on Trevor Lawrence? How are you processing the end of this season and the campaign as a whole? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree or disagree. Let's engage in some discussions, have some spirited debates, but ultimately, let's enjoy the conversation. Please consider subscribing. We are building an incredible community here and would love for you to be part of it. I aim to create something we all feel connected to and excited about, and I believe we're making significant progress. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it genuinely helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.